A dime from 1986 can be worth up to $3,200 if it has the right error. One of the most dramatic varieties is the off-center strike, where the coin is misaligned during minting. And today, I'll show you exactly what to look for. Most 1986 dimes are only worth face value, about 10 cents. But collectors are paying attention because the right coin can change hands for hundreds or even thousands. Here's the breakdown. A normal circulated 1986 dime is usually worth 10 to 50 cents. With small errors like die chips or minor doubling, values jump to $20 to $150. And with major minting mistakes such as double strikes or dramatic off-center errors, the price can skyrocket from $500 to over $3,000. The single most valuable 1986 dime reported is a spectacular double strike with 70% off-center, which sold for over $3,200. In this script you'll see examples of each category, how to identify them, and where they have been sold. But let's begin with the visual errors that matter most. One of the most eye-catching 1986 dime errors is the off-center strike. When the coin isn't properly seated in the press, part of the design is missing. Collectors love these because they show the minting process gone wrong in a dramatic way. If the date is still visible, prices are much higher. Minor off-center examples of 5 to 10% can sell for $40 to $100. Stronger off-center errors of 30 to 50% can bring $150 to $400. And if the coin is over 70% off-center while still showing the date, it can reach $1,200 to $3,000. One particular 1986 dime with a 75% off-center strike sold for $2,750 at auction. But this isn't the most valuable error yet. Another collectible mistake is the double strike error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, leaving two overlapping images. Minor double strikes that are slightly visible might sell for $80 to $150. More dramatic double strikes, where the design is shifted, can command $300 to $700. And a spectacular double strike with clear doubling and separation once sold for $1,600. Wait until you hear what happens when a double strike combines with an off-center strike. Next, there are broad strikes. If the retaining collar fails during minting, the coin spreads outward, appearing wider and flat around the rim. These errors often sell for $40 to $120, depending on condition and visibility. A gem uncirculated 1986 dime with a broad strike was auctioned for $250. Another interesting error is the clipped planchet. This happens when a blank planchet is punched overlapping the edge of the metal sheet, leaving a curved missing piece. Small clips sell for $20 to $60. Larger, dramatic clips can reach $150 to $300. A double curved clip from 1986 once brought $425. Then we have die cracks and die chips. These are caused when the die used to strike the coins begins to wear or break. Small chips on Roosevelt's face or in the lettering usually bring $10 to $30. Larger, visible die cracks across the coin can sell for $50 to $100. Collectors love naming these cracks, like the spiked head or cut errors. One dime with a dramatic die cut covering the rim sold for $275. And don't overlook doubled dies. These are among the most popular errors in numismatics. On a 1986 dime, doubling can appear on the date, the motto, Liberty, or the torch on the reverse. Minor doubling might be worth $40 to $100. Strong doubling with clearly separated lines can fetch $300 to $600. A certified double die from 1986 sold for $780. But hold on, the most spectacular 1986 dime error combines two mistakes in one. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. By 1986, the composition had long since changed from silver to a copper-nickel-clad alloy. While the silver transition occurred in 1965, errors continued well into the 1980s due to high mintage volumes. In 1986 alone, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.2 billion dimes, and the Denver Mint produced another 1 billion. With billions struck, quality control wasn't perfect. The more coins made, the greater the chance of mistakes slipping into circulation. That's why 1986 dimes, despite being modern, still feature a range of errors collectors are eager to find. Another factor is that the 1980s saw heavy use of coin-operated machines. Damaged dies and stressed equipment increased the chance of visible errors. This historical context explains why so many striking varieties exist for the 1986 dime. But this history also highlights rarity. While billions were minted, only a tiny fraction contain the dramatic errors worth serious money. And the next category is where collectors really start to pay premiums. So how do you check your 1986 dimes for these valuable mistakes? First step, examine the obverse, especially the date and the word Liberty. Look for doubling, extra lines, or unusual thickness in the lettering. This can indicate a doubled die. Second step, inspect Roosevelt's face and the rim for cracks or extra metal. This is where die chips and die breaks often appear. Even a small raised bump can turn a 10-cent coin into a $50 collectible. Third step, flip the coin to the reverse, focusing on the torch, olive branch, and oak branch. Doubling on the torch or cracks near the rim are highly sought after. Fourth step, check the shape of the coin. If the dime looks wider, stretched, or has missing parts of the design, it could be a broad strike or off-center strike. Remember, the more dramatic and the clearer the date, the higher the value. Fifth step, look for planchet errors. Any missing curved piece or unusual blank spot could be a clipped planchet worth $100 or more. And one final tip, keep an eye out for coins that seem misaligned or struck twice. A double strike that's also off-center can combine two errors into one, creating values above $3,000. While a common 1986 dime in circulated condition might only buy you a piece of candy, the right error coin can pay for an entire vacation. But wait until you hear these real sales examples. Collectors aren't just talking about these errors, they're paying real money for them. In 2019, a 1986 dime with a 60% off-center strike sold for $1,250. In 2020, a dramatic double strike with clear misalignment fetched $1,600. In 2021, a broad strike in mint state condition brought $250. And in 2022, the record holder, a 1986 dime with both a massive off-center and a double strike, reached $3,200 at auction. Even more modest sales prove the market is strong. Clipped planchet examples regularly sell for $75 to $200. Minor die cracks listed online often close between $30 and $80. And strong double dies with certification can bring $500 to $800 consistently. If you're wondering where to buy or sell, the main marketplaces are eBay, major auction houses, and certified coin dealers. But authentication is crucial. Many small marks can be mistaken for damage, so having coins graded by services like PCGS or NGC can increase both trust and price. Think of it this way, a dime someone once spent on a soda machine could now be worth more than a month's rent. That's the power of error coins. To recap, the three most valuable 1986 dime errors are: first, the dramatic off-center strike showing the full date, worth up to $3,000. Second, the double strike with visible separation, often selling for $1,600 or more. And third, the combined double strike and off-center error, which holds the record at $3,200. So check your change carefully. A simple 1986 dime could be a hidden treasure. And don't stop there, many modern dimes and quarters carry valuable mistakes. Check your 1986 dimes right now, and if you find one of these errors, you might be holding hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your hand. And make sure to subscribe, because in the next episode, I'll reveal the quarter that has sold for nearly $10,000, and you just might have it